You ever get to the end of the day and wonder, what did I even do today? Not in the dramatic way, just genuinely realizing you went through the motions but didn't really feel present for any of it. You wake up, check your phone, brush your teeth, coffee, commute, meetings, emails, chores, dinner, Netflix, sleep, repeat. It's like life starts running on rails and you're just along for the ride. Welcome to the autopilot loop, and if you're tired of it, you're not alone. Today from Ascendenci-Net, we're looking at ways to break yourself out of the unconscious routines that we tend to follow day after day. It's time to disrupt that default mode and start reclaiming your life, one intentional moment at a time. Let's get to it. So, what is the autopilot loop really? First, we need to define what we mean when we say autopilot. We're not talking about daydreaming every now and then. We're talking about those stretches of time, sometimes even years, where you move through life on default settings. You follow the same routines, think the same thoughts, react the same way, do the same things over and over and over. It's like you've outsourced your decisions or volunteered to be an NPC without stopping to ask if that version still fits. And here's the kicker. Autopilot isn't always bad. Your brain likes efficiency, and habits are how we survive without going completely bonkers from decision fatigue. But when the habit becomes the identity, that's when it's a problem. It's at that point that we lose touch with our sense of agency, and that's when life starts to feel numb. So let me tell you a story. There was this guy, and we're going to call him Jason. Jason had a steady job, a morning routine that ran like clockwork. Wake up at 6, shower, toast and coffee, work from 9 to 5, go to the gym, eat dinner, sleep. Weekends were for laundry, errands, and a few hours of gaming. Rinse, repeat. From the outside, Jason looked stable, reliable, and productive. But inside, he felt like a ghost in his own life. No spark, no direction, just this creeping sense that he was existing, not really living. One day, during his usual drive to work, on the same road, with the same traffic, and listening to the same playlist, he missed his exit. He had completely zoned out. He pulled over and just sat there. That tiny disruption, that moment of not doing the usual thing, it was enough to shake him awake. He started asking different questions, and that was the start of a completely new direction for him. So, why does this even happen? Well, the brain loves patterns. Routines are comforting, they reduce effort. But too much repetition without reflection? It's a recipe for detachment. Here are a few things that feed the autopilot loop. Comfort zones that became cages. We stay with what we know, even when it no longer serves us. External validation. We chase after praise and approval, not passion or purpose. Avoiding discomfort. Real change, it takes effort and sometimes pain, so we stay where it's easy. And a lack of presence. When you're always thinking about the next task, you stop showing up for the one in front of you. The truth is, you don't wake up one day and say, let me stop living consciously. It just happens, little by little, until you forget what it felt like to choose your life instead of drifting through it. So the question is, how do we shake things up? How do we go from our default mode to intentional living? Here's a 3-part framework you can start applying right now. Step 1 is to interrupt the pattern. You can't change what you don't notice, so the first step is to wake up your awareness by interrupting your usual routines, even in small ways. You can change your route, take a new path to work or school, walk a different block. Even a small shift in scenery helps break the script. You can also switch hands. You can brush your teeth or eat with your non-dominant hand. It forces your brain to pay attention. Try ignoring the digital world upon waking. Don't check your phone for the first 20 minutes or so after waking up. Be present with yourself before engaging with the outside world. You can also eat in silence. No distraction, no scrolling, just taste, chew, breathe, repeat. Now, these small changes may sound silly, but they work. Disruption wakes up the system and it tells your brain, hey, we're doing something different now, pay attention. The next step would be reflection and asking better questions. Because once you've disrupted the loop, it's time to reflect. Not with judgment, but with curiosity. You can ask, what am I doing out of habit that no longer serves me? Where in my life do I feel most alive? And what would I do if I wasn't afraid to change? Write your answers down, say them aloud, talk about them with someone you trust. Because here's the thing, without reflection, disruption is just chaos. You need something meaningful behind the shift, and that is how change sticks. Finally, we get to setting an intention and choosing what comes next. Now that the loop has been broken and the insights are flowing, make the choice. What do you want to bring into your life on purpose? That doesn't mean you have to flip everything upside down. It means start choosing your actions, your thoughts, your habits consciously. You can try name your why for the day. Before your day starts, take 60 seconds to name one thing you want to feel, experience, or create. You could also create anchors and choose one intentional habit that grounds you. This could be journaling, stretching, deep breathing, or even making your bed with presence. End with awareness. Each night reflect, what did I choose today and where did I show up fully? That's how you reclaim your life. Not through massive overhauls, but through repeated choices made on purpose. Let's get back to Jason. After his missed exit moment, he didn't quit his job or move across the country. He didn't need to. What he did instead was started setting intentions in the mornings. He took some different routes to work. He talked to his boss about shifting one task that had drained him for months to a different coworker. He took up photography again, something he hadn't touched in years. None of these changes were dramatic, but he felt different, more engaged, more present, more alive. And that's what we're really after here. Not some perfectly optimized routine, not a hustle, no pressure, just that feeling of being awake in your own life again. A common misconception that people tend to have is that they need a big wake up call. They need to burn out, hit rock bottom, or experience a crisis. This isn't the case. You can interrupt the autopilot routine before you crash. That's what this is, a moment to pause, to look around, and to ask yourself, is this the life I'm choosing or the life I've fallen into? And guess what? If it's the latter, you get to choose again, right now, with the very next breath, with the very next step. You don't need to flip your world upside down. You just need to start paying attention and choose on purpose. That is the work you need to do, and that is the freedom that you will choose. Now, if this hit home for you, don't let it just be another video you scroll past. Do one thing differently today. One disruption, one reflection, one intentional choice. Because autopilot is optional, and your life is worth showing up for, fully. Thank you for spending time with us today. If this video on breaking out of autopilot offered you something meaningful, explore the others we've shared. Until next time, keep growing, stay centered, and remember, you are not alone on this path of self-discovery.